Good morning. We're going to talk about perspectives, men's perspectives of women ironworkers, because we do hear you talk on the job, whether it's the little snickers or whether it's just blatantly right in our face. So we're going to start with the first one that we've heard. Women can't do the work, and she will get me hurt because I will have to compensate for her. What do you think of that, Ambra?
I think when you have that, when you say that and you have that blanket, statement and that thought in your head, it takes away from me as the woman that's there as an individual and what she has to offer. I've been in several situations where I needed to move steel or I needed to get something done, and standing there was not the option. If I stood there, it would hurt me. So I've had to, like everybody else out here, I've had to learn how to make it happen with the little bit that I have and to conserve my energy so I can make it the 8 hours. So I've figured out, like everyone else here, that we use leverage, pulleys. There are things that we can do to lift and do the work. And all it takes is a few minutes to just slow down, look at it, and say, this is how we're going to get this done. Unfortunately, when you say that, oh, she's going to get me hurt, oh, I'm going to be the one doing all the work, you haven't asked her, what is your capability? What do you feel comfortable with? Do you think that we can get this done together? Because it's a partnership.
That's right. That's right. Thank you, Ambra. Sally, what do you say when men say women will just hurt themselves?
Well, Dig Zampa's pre-apprenticeship program in Benicia was the equivalent of a boot camp, so I'm prepared.
You're prepared. Ambra, what do you think? Women will just hurt themselves.
Everybody hurts themselves out here. Not everybody was meant to be an iron worker, okay? So I made it. So I feel like I'm blessed to be in this room. I feel like my effort has done it, but I've also had mentors and I've also had people out there who have taught me how to use my body and use my skills to get the job done so that I don't get hurt. That is where good leadership comes in. That's where safety comes in. So regardless if I'm a woman or a man, if I'm doing my job safely and I'm given that opportunity to do it safely, then no, I'm not going to get hurt, and neither are you.
That's right. So Blue, how about you guys, we hear you say, she's just looking for a lawsuit. What do you think, Blue?
To me, what pays out more than a lawsuit is a pension, the annuity. The comfort I have in knowing that if my family gets sick, just having that comfort knowing that if I get sick, my health care is covered. And the fact that I can finish up the end of the day, and I have pride. Like you said, like it takes a certain person to be, and that pride, there's no amount of zeros. I mean, if you want to challenge me with that, that's cool. But there are no amount of zeros on a paycheck that can replace the pride that I have at the end of the day.
And can I just say something about the lawsuit thing? And I've been in a number of situations where I could have said, I want that money and I want y'all to pay me and I get this and I deserve this. I could have. But when I sat down and I thought about it, one, if I sue anybody out here, I feel like, quite frankly, I'm going to have to find another career. And that's not what I want to do because I love ironwork. It doesn't matter how much money you give me if you've taken away my ability to have a career for the rest of my life.
So Blue, I'm going to ask you this. She's not worth the time to teach or mentor. She won't be here long enough.
I've been in 6 years, so I mean, I think that's kind of a little bit long enough to, I think I'm gonna stick around for a minute. But I'd also like to say that I think I'm a great example. My local 75 was amazingly supportive to me. My apprenticeship coordinator, every turn, every question I had, I knew that I had a brother there for me to answer questions and to assist me and to mentor me. And because of that, I even though I turned out in 2015 as Apprentice of the Year, I am also now a trustee, and I am lined up to be an instructor out of my hall and other halls. Using, no, that applause is definitely for my local. Like, that is how much I appreciate it. And it just shows that when you feed into someone, they are going to give back, and they are going to grow so much bigger and help out with the whole community of us.
What do you think about that, Ambra?
I think
She's not worth the time to teach or mentor.
I've had, there are two kinds of men, there's two kinds of foremen out there, okay? There's the foreman that will play mind games in order to get you to do your job, okay? That will put pressure on you and will put you in an unbelievably uncool situation to get the job done. And then there's a foreman that looks at all of his people and identifies their individuality and the gifts and strengths that they have. And then they use that and they send that person to do the job that needs to be done, okay? So when it comes to women, I think there's this big thing where it's like, you're not a woman, you're just like us out here. No, I am a woman. I am a woman, and I have a different way of communicating. I have a different way of learning. And if you take the moment, and not just for just a woman, and because we have men out here that are called problem children, and I've met a lot of smart men who haven't made through the program, and it's not because they didn't have the capability, but it was more that they had a foreman that didn't take the time to see them as an individual and use their strengths. And so when we talk about changing our market, about gaining market share and technology changing, well, so are the people that are coming in this business. My apprentices, whether they be male or female, everyone has sensitivity issues, everyone has learning disabilities. So for us to just make a general statement and treat everybody the same way, we're gonna miss out and we're gonna lose. Because women are here, we're not going away, and if you don't embrace it, then us as a union, we are going to die.
That's right. One thing, this is probably the first thing I heard 32 years ago on the first job I was on, and I know that every one of you have heard this as well. She's taking away a man's job. I want you all to talk about that.
Can I say something
Oh,
about
please.
that? I just have one thing to say about that. I've been on bridge jobs, and I know that we get bridge work because because of the use of minorities and women. I know that there are some jobs that say, okay, you have women on this job, you have women, as like with our union, they'll say, well, if you have women, if you put women on the job, then we're going to give you this work, right? So how is it that if the only reason why those 10 men and me, this one woman, is on the job because I'm on the job, that's why you're on the job. So there's a job created for me. I already have a position. I'm not taking anyone else's job. They've created that job for me, and I've created that job for 10 other men.
There you go. What do you think, Blue? She's just taking away a man's job.
All right, fine. She asked all of us. It's okay. Iron workers are the baddest of the bad. It takes a special kind of person to be an iron worker. Man or woman, doesn't matter. I'm an iron worker. I'm gonna come here, I'm gonna kick some ass. Doesn't matter what color J. John I use. I'm an iron worker, I'm gonna get this shit done.
What do you think, Sally?
The first thing that comes to mind is just what does that even mean? I think for me, women have to support their families just like the men do, and it's as simple as that.
There you go.
I think I've learned a long time ago in a single parent household that if you're gonna be a willful, strong woman, you better be ready to support yourself.
That's right. So the next one, and this is really for my journeyman up here, Blue and Ambra. Women are only good for welding. That's all you should be doing, just welding.
I love welding, but a majority of my apprenticeship was spent busting rods, and I actually really love it. So I can do a whole hell of a lot more. I spent the time to get qualified for rigging, which I do. I love numbers, so I do a lot of layout and stuff like that. I used to work in the computer industry, so I've assisted on AutoCAD, adjustments for our blueprints. I do it all, baby. It says journeyman ironworker on my card. I do it all.
Like, I want to say that when it's, I'm sorry.
Women are only good
Women
for
are only
welding.
good for welding. I'm sorry. I'm lost. I'm very nervous.
We've had a lot of coffee.
Sorry, I'm trying. Welding is my specialty, and welding will always get me in the door, but everything else that I know and I do keeps me there. I can do detail work, I can fabricate, I'm good on the hell dog. I think the only thing that I don't really do, the only thing I don't do well in the business is whatever I haven't been given the opportunity to work on. And that's a big thing, because if you tell me that all I'm good for is welding and you only give me welding, then yeah, one, you're only gonna see me welding, so that's probably the only thing that you think I'm good for. But two, I'm not learning how to do the rest of it, you know? It's not something this business is about repetition, it's about finding ways to eliminate eliminate things that might take your time away from what it is that you're doing, to keep your production, to keep efficient, you know? So, I lost my.
That's all right.
I'm sorry.
One of the things that I was also told as I was going through is she's only looking for a husband. Now, while I did marry a iron worker, that wasn't my main goal when I got in. That was not what I was looking for, was a husband. But we still hear that. These ladies have heard that just recently. She's only looking for a husband. Is that really the pool that you're looking for, is just an iron worker? What do you think, Ambra?
I could think of easier ways to find a man, and it usually involves a dress and not a hell dog, but okay. I've been in this business for 10 years. I still haven't found one yet.
What do you think, Blue?
At the end of the day, if some of y'all use deodorant, maybe.
Sally, she's only looking for a husband.
I don't think my wife would like that very much, to be honest.
So, Blue, what do you say when they tell you that you don't belong there? You don't belong as an iron worker.
Like I said before, it takes a special person. There's a special fire in all of us that makes us iron workers. And this is my family. I belong here. And there's another girl out here that belongs here too, and she just doesn't know it yet. Just got to make sure that we reach out and mentor her and invest in her so that she knows that she's a sister and she belongs here, and this is all of our family.
Back when I was working out in the field, I kept hearing over and over again that my wife will kill me if she finds out I'm working with a woman.
I had a foreman that wouldn't even give me his phone number to call in if something happened to me, because he was like, well, if my phone rings, and she's gonna be like, well, who is it? I'd be, it's the girl. Are you kidding me?
I've had 2 foremen call me and say, listen, my wife has been calling all the female numbers in my phone, so please, I apologize. But it shouldn't be like, it shouldn't be. Do me a favor, put Ambra Melendez, my apprentice, my journeyman, she is here for work. Please just put it.
And it's so hard because it's like with that particular stereotype, not only are we battling against all the other stereotypes that we run into, but now we're battling against the wives at home as well that we're probably never ever going to meet.
Facebook messengers. Stay away from my husband. It's hard. This is hard.
Yeah.
So what do you guys say, all of you? If she's pregnant, she can't be at work. She can't iron work.
I just want to say, I know somebody from Local 40, my sister local. I'm very proud to say I know her. Her name is Adrienne Donato. She had 2 children, and each one of them, she was on the steel up until close to 36 weeks. Now, yes, she was working for a very good company, Skanska, and she was a foreman as well. So she was able to continue to be out there. I mean, they didn't put her on a hell dog or anything like that, but she was still able to be out there. Unfortunately, there are women out there that aren't as fortunate. There are physical things, physical limitations. The doctors, they get sick. There are situations that arise where you can't be out on that steel every day. And I think that a lot of the women in the business have to decide what they're doing with their children as far as family planning is concerned, because they don't want to lose their benefits.
That's right. What do you think, Blue?
I think that's huge. It's pretty terrible that you have to be put into a position to decide family or career, especially when there's so much time and money put into your education to become part of this family and to earn this career and have these skills, and that there's absolutely nothing put in place that can assist in that decision.
So now they have pre-apprenticeships. In Benicia, California, they have one. The ironworkers have one. And I know that the three of us didn't have the opportunity to do a pre-apprenticeship, but you actually did, Sally, have a pre-apprenticeship in Benicia. I wanted you to tell us about how that helped you when you actually went to work on a job.
Sure. So I just want to start by saying that in high school, I was never given these opportunities, and I'm not a generational iron worker like most of the people in my class are. So the TOP program at Chicago Women in Trades and Exampa's pre-apprenticeship training in Benicia definitely prepared me for this industry. So
Do you believe it gave you a competitive advantage?
absolutely, absolutely.
So Benicia, at the University of Iron, they go for 3 weeks, 9 hours a day, 1 day off in those 3 weeks. So it's pretty much boot camp for women. And we really want to encourage the use of this program to give these women a competitive advantage. The day that they go out, they may go out with a guy at the same time, and she's really going to shine because she's had that boot camp in Benicia, California. So it's something that I wish I would have had when I was going through 32 years ago. It certainly would have been a help. I kind of want to change gears a little bit. Lauren and I have talked a lot through the years at Chicago Women in Trades, but there's something that I wanted to talk to y'all about is to be that one guy. And what does that mean to be that one guy? So I'm going to let you guys tell them what it's like to be that one guy.
Be that one guy. Be that one guy who teaches tricks of our trade rather than assuming that because of her gender, she will not be here long.
Be that one guy, the one who realized that the person being bullied, intimidated, or is on the receiving end of microaggression is a mom, a sister, a daughter, or a niece. Would you like that to happen to one of your family members?
Be that one guy who treats a woman ironworker as a sister ironworker.
Be that one guy who tells the coworker, foreman, or general foreman to knock it off. It only takes one to do the right thing. Just be that one guy.
Be that one guy who goes home to his family knowing that he's done no harm to someone else's.
Be that one guy.
Be that one guy who's a safe haven for all workers. When a woman is worried about her safety, other than the actual work, it creates a hazard itself, not just for the woman, but for every worker on that job site.
And Lauren, I'd like to introduce you now from Chicago Women in Trade, so you can talk to us about what endeavors you have going on.
Thanks, Vicki, and I really appreciate the invite to be here today, especially because I'm a former elevator constructor, so I appreciate being able to be up here with one of my favorite trades, the iron workers. So I want to say, thank you all. And I forgive you for any of the work you tried to steal from us out there in the field. So I'm batting cleanup today because my job here is to share with you the resources, the strategies, the materials that will enable you to be that one guy. And our assumption is that people want to do the right thing, but that you may not necessarily have the right tools or the knowledge or the experience in order to be able to put that philosophy in place. So think of my remarks today as an overview of a different kind of apprenticeship program that we'd like you to all think about taking and encouraging your fellow workers to take as well. So this is about how to become an ally, how to add a gender lens to your program. And I'm assuming that just like you didn't know anything about ironworking or the ins and outs of safety on the job, You had to learn it. So we think you may have to learn this as well. It may not just come naturally. As the speaker before us said when he was in Spain, he said, it's not that we weren't weird. He thought it was weird, but just different. So you may have to apply some different techniques and different approaches to do this. So I assume that everybody wants to be the right guy, but they lack awareness, they lack understanding, they lack knowledge. And I think what you've gotten here from these women is the tip of the iceberg of understanding what women's experience is out there. And what I want you to, I want you to think about it as a safety training. So OSHA is just, 40 years old now, 45 years old or something. So we didn't have a safety mentality for many, many years. But we've transformed the construction culture to be one that's zero tolerance of unsafe practices. And it's one of our prime concerns. And as President Dean said, up the ante in having a safety department in this industry that wasn't just one guy. So doing the right thing requires acting just like safety. You prescribe what a safe work environment is, you talk about it regularly, you show leadership support for it, you embrace it in all levels so that everybody from superintendent down to a crew leader understands what safe practices are, you train regularly on safety practices, and you hold people accountable. I always used to say, not everybody on my job liked wearing a hard hat, but we were required to. So it wasn't about how we felt about it, it was about the accountability of doing the right thing. So what works to get women into the field and to have women have long-term successful careers? And think of it, I think Blue said this, it's about us creating pensions, but the more we work, we are the next generation coming up. We are the ones supporting your pensions out there. So you have a vested interest in doing it because you want to see this industry continue to grow strong. So intentionality is really critical. Stating your intentions that you want more women on the job, that you want women to succeed is important. Following up that intentionality with some specific goals. Think of this as a blueprint, and that you want to build a 90-story building, but you can't do it without a blueprint. Examine your assumptions, and we've done that a little bit today. Vicki really laid the groundwork with these questions. What do you assume about women working in the field? Were these the questions you had? Do you have other questions? So it may take some time to explore those. It's important to be strategic. Think about what will work. The same practices that you do today to recruit men to the field or to support men in the field or to mentor men in the field may not work for women. You may have to change it a little bit. And you also have to measure. Are you doing a good job? Is it effective? Assess your progress. Benchmark yourself against the goals. And challenge the ordinary practices and assumptions. One of the things I love best about this trade is that you don't have the International Brotherhood of Ironworkers in your title. You are the International Ironworkers Union, and that really, I think, sends a good message to people. And we talk about language as another place that you need to be intentional. So we also say go out of your way to be supportive of women and be an advocate for diversity. This is not a bystander sport, okay? Being an ally is a verb. It's not a noun. It's something that you do every day. So I want to give you resources and tools to be able to do that. And Chicago Women in Trades just celebrated our 35th anniversary. We started as a small group of women, a support group, because we didn't have a lot of other women out there in the field that we could connect to. And we didn't have the benefit of the pre-apprenticeship program that Sally described at Chicago Women in Trades, or that the International is now supporting out at Benicia with Dick Zampa. And so we were struggling to be successful in our careers. But we also knew that lots of women were interested in what we did. They'd see me on the subway and say, how can I get a job like that? So we started to inform more women, provide career awareness, career education. And then we also started to do the things to help women be competitive candidates. And that was the origins of our pre-apprenticeship training program. So we have now taken all of our experience, all of our programming, all of the knowledge that we've gained over these 35 years of working with women, of working with our trade partners, our unions, our apprenticeship programs, with contractors, with owners. And we've translated it into a set of resources and tools, a toolkit, you can say, that is available to you in a number of different ways. So we have a website that you can go to, and it's very easy to find at chicagowomenintrades.org. And on that website, you will find a whole set of resources that you can download for free, that it's organized by recruitment, by assessment, by retention, what the union can do, what a company can do, and it includes things like how to set up a mentoring program that will support women, how to set up a women's committee. It includes flyers that you can use and customize to recruit women that say, women, are you interested in this career? Or women, don't let, it's a dirty job, don't let men have all the fun. So we don't expect that you're gonna necessarily come up with flyers, but we have ones you can customize and use. We have a video you can download if there aren't women in your area that can speak to what it means to be an iron worker or to be a construction worker. You can download our video. You can download a guide called the You Can Do It Guide and customize it for your own area. It's got tips for women who want to come in, and it's got strategies for you to share with potential applicants to your program. So we can help you identify all of the needs that you have. We can come in and assess what's working, what's not working, what needs to be amplified in your program. We can come in as an outside expert that looks at things and doesn't necessarily put anybody on the spot for acting badly, but gives you a chance to be proactive and add some elements, what we call adding a gender lens to your program. So we are funded by a Department of Labor grant, which means we can offer all these services for free to you. We are leading a consortium of 9 organizations around the country, and we have 4 international building trade partners: the ironworkers, the bricklayers, the sheet metal workers, and the painters. And I will tell you, my favorite so far is the ironworkers. So. And I think, what makes the ironworkers stand out is the leadership commitment that has come from the top. And I want to thank President Dean for being that one guy.
Yes.
So. And, we've talked about a lot of different things, challenges that women may face, the good things that they've had that need to be lifted up and shared with other people. You have this great program out in Benicia. We need to create more awareness about that, more opportunities for women to take advantage of that, and locals to take advantage of it. We need to create more linkages to programs like Chicago Women in Trades or Oregon Tradeswomen, or non-traditional employment for women in Seattle and in New York City. But we can also be in places where we don't have groups like that. So I encourage you all to contact me. I've got business cards. There's packets in the back that have a set of the resources, but we've made them all downloadable so that we don't waste paper and are conscious of the environment, but make it easy for you to access. So, and I'm really excited. The other thing is we talked about what it means to be pregnant on the job. And I think that this is a challenge that cuts across jobs, but is especially challenging in the construction industry. And what's happened is women often lose time, they lose pension hours, they lose health benefits if they get pregnant, they lose status in their apprenticeship program, and there isn't any concrete systemic way of approaching this. And so I think the other reason I am really excited to be part of this panel is
Yes, I do have some very exciting news. The ironworkers, and I believe we are the first of the building trade unions to come out with a maternity leave policy for our women ironworkers.
Woo!
Impact and the ironworkers are excited and pleased to announce that the ironworkers now have a maternity leave policy for qualified women ironworkers. Details and marketing is going to be coming out in the next several weeks. But again, this making, I'm going to start again because I'm so excited. This again makes Impact and the ironworkers the trailblazers in the construction industry by rolling out a maternity leave policy for our women ironworkers. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you, ironworkers. I want to thank my panel. Thank you all for coming in from across the United States to be here. I think that we gave you guys a wealth of information. Pick up the packets that Lauren has for you. It is a learning experience. And if you have questions or you need me to come out to your locals, please call. We will set that up. And thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
you.